Hey there, welcome to OMR Runner. In today's video, I'm going to race my friend Con around Howth Head, just north of Dublin. First, I'll show you a little video of Howth and the route, tell you what I think might happen, and then I'm going to race Con around. I'm going to be on foot, he's going to be on a bicycle. Finally, we're going to see who won, hopefully me, and assess what went right and what went wrong. A couple of years ago, when I got back into running seriously, I decided to turn all of James Joyce's major works into half marathons. So I did. And the last one was Finnegan's Wake and involved running out of Dublin and over Howth Head to the north of the city. And recently I've been looking at trying to run the entire length of the bay in a day. And so I went out practicing on the same routes that I used for the half marathon in and around Howth. And I noticed that a loop around Howth was 10k, and I've been looking to try and challenge my friend Con to another silly bike versus man running sort of shindig. And I thought, this is 10k, a loop around, that sounds like a plan. So I set out to plan the race, the route, and this video. Howth is a small fishing village just north of Dublin. It's about 15 kilometres from the city centre, about 40 minutes on a train. The train stops right in the centre, and there's lots of attractions. Lots of people go out for the day or for an afternoon or for a stroll. It's really lovely. There's lots of walks around the headlands, both on trails and also on the roads, and super for running around. This is a panorama around Howth Harbour. You'll see the yacht club appearing here with the blue and white stripes, and then there's obviously the yachts. The fishing boats are largely behind there. A little lighthouse, Ireland's Eye, which is very beautiful, an island in the distance. And then we pan around and you'll see more of the headland. And then when the panorama stops, it'll be focusing on the road, which goes up just to the north. So here we are, about to stop and zoom in, and that's where we're heading off. We're going to go up the hill, starting in that road. So this is the Strava map, the route around Howth, and you can see we're starting in the northeast corner. And initially we rise up pretty quickly, so you go straight up the hill. It's 16.2% at this point, which gets twisty around the bend. I'll show a video next of the actual full route. And then you get up to the top of the hill at 1.8 kilometers, which is about 1.12 miles. And at that point in time, we're 137 meters up, or 450 feet. So you go 450 feet in 1.12 miles. So it's pretty steep and pretty challenging, I suppose. And then it falls flat largely, and then it falls down. Very beautiful along here, beautiful views south over Dublin. Another little rise, and then you go down. It gets to 16% on one of these bends, which is gnarly. And then you go down to the beautiful Sutton Strand, and you've got a beautiful view over Dublin. And then largely we just make our way back to Howth, avoiding as many traffic junctions as we can, and make our way back 10k later into Howth itself. So I made a video of us running around. This is the start, and immediately we go straight up the hill. Now, I will point out that I speeded this up. I didn't drive at these speeds. But you go up past the Abbey Tavern on the right. It's a bit challenging here for, I suppose, both Con on the bicycle and myself, because you've got to get across to the right-hand side of the road here. There's a lot of traffic whizzes down here. I mean, cyclists come flying down this hill, but we turn immediately to the right. Now, this particular route is steeper than the main route that people go would be to the left of the church, but we're going up to the right here, and we're rising up, and you can see the houses. You can see how they step up the hill, and then we're about to hit the steepest point. Just up around here, we hit a really tight corner, so it's 16.2%, I think it is here, and then we go up again and then round to the left. At this point in time, it's hard on the legs, then eases out slightly before this bend is the last really tight bit, and up over this rise, and then you're still going uphill, but it's an easy enough schlep up here. When I'm running it, I'm on the right hand side. I'm guessing Con is on the left here, and then we go up, and at this point in time, this is the last. There's a sharp turn to the right. We'll come back on to all these right turns lately, but essentially you turn to the right, you go up here, you'll see a sign indicating steep road, and then this is the last bend up to the left. I'm on the right hand side, and then right up here we're at the top. We'll show a panorama looking back a bit later on, but you're now on what Con would call a falls flat from cycling. So it's really nice along here. You're rolling along. Anytime I've run this in practice, I'm beginning to catch my breath back here. We're now beginning a few downhills, You have to be a bit careful both on a bike and running. There's people walking, but there's also the odd motorist coming along rather a bit too fast. And again, I point out I sped this up. But anyway, along we go, and you can see there's lots of housing entrances either side of the road. It's very beautiful along here. Around to the left, we start to go sort of downhill now. We're really on the downhill. And between the gaps and where there's no high walls, there's really beautiful views south over Dublin. So it's twisty here. This is where there's a bit of construction traffic here, and I made this video just probably about half an hour before we went to decide to run it. You can see where a man is going down to help his partner push a pram up. But here there's construction traffic. The road is a bit greasy. We're again turning right. You can see aspects of construction debris on the road. And then we're going straight down the hill. It's very beautiful from this point on. There's a little gate to the left that I regularly stop at when I'm running, and not on the actual route this time, but it's just to the left there. Beautiful views out over the city. And as you come down here, we'll now join the main Howth Road just down. There's a junction down here. And what happens is that on that stretch, cyclists could be going up to 65k going down the hill, obviously not uphill. Unless they're superhuman, but there's a lot of traffic. It's a pretty tricky one. If Con was to go and I were to run on the main drag, he'd easily beat me because he'd just get up to such top speed. So it's long straight roads here. Again, beautiful views to the left in Dublin over farmland. And here you get to the last, there's a tiny bit of an uphill stretch just here. And once you're up over the hill, from Con's point of view on the bicycle, it's going to be fairly easy because he's going to be turning to the left. It's tricky enough sometimes for me to get across the road in safety. You can see there's a few blind bends, no path on the left, but you immediately go down to the left, and we're going to go down towards Sutton Strand, which itself is very beautiful. So you go down again through narrow roads and no paths. It gets to 16%. This corner is really tricky. Coming the other way is tough, obviously, but it's tricky enough. I'm guessing at this point Con will speed up. I'm hoping to do it and be feeling reasonably fit when I get down here, but I've no idea what it's going to be like. I've run the route probably 4 or 5 times in training. I did 2 laps of it one day because in this particular challenge, Con is going to. I'll set the challenge in a minute, but Con is going to do 2 laps to my 1 lap. That's the basic plan. He's going to go twice as quick as I do, and then. I'm a big fan of practice. Perfect practice makes perfect, and again, you suddenly see this construction traffic, which wasn't there. I ran it also on Saturday. But then you come down, and we're now going through, obviously, housing estates, and then you get down to the beautiful Sutton Strand. And once you're here, there's beautiful views back across to Dublin. I'll show you a panorama again. At the end of this, we stop at a quick look around. Pretty dangerous bend, that one. And then out you go. And we're now right down on the flat. You can see the bonnet of the car bounced up and down on these sleeping policemen, I think they're called, and on we go. And again, this is a lovely place to stop and have a stroll on the beach there. So at this point in time, I'm always trying to use the footpath, but I follow the footpath by the road. There's a shortcut to the left here, but I don't take that when I'm going to run it. I literally follow the route where the car is going to go, and then we go to the left here. Con should have an easy enough go. This isn't a particularly tricky junction, and both of us can go around. It's hard both for him and me to turn to the right. We're going to turn to the right down what's called Church Road, because what we want to try and do is avoid, there's a major junction up ahead at what's called Sutton Cross, and you can be stuck for ages. Now, most of these little pedestrian lights, I'm not imagining Con will get stuck at. I'm hoping I don't get stuck at them either, but that'd be unlikely. But once we're really going down this road, I think this is called Church Road, and then we're going to turn to the right and we'll head east back into Howth. And again, at this point in time, you can see, look, it's suburbia. This is probably, I'm not sure whether this is Sutton or Howth, probably Sutton. And then we're trying to turn to the right and avoid the traffic. So this could be tricky again for Con, and wouldn't be tricky for me because I would just be turning right. And now we head up to where I'm obviously hoping to beat Con. I'm hoping to beat him by running. But I thought, well, maybe, if I'm not fast enough, maybe he's got to do 2 laps. And there's a traffic lights here that he could get stuck at a couple of times. He mightn't. I can also get a bit stuck, but not really. And then it's a long drag into Howth. You're trying. I don't know what Con's view would be, but mine would be that I'm trying to avoid as best as possible any hold-ups, and I have to cross the other side of the road. And I really, even having run this several times, I still don't know where the best point to cross the road is. But you go on here, up to the right-hand side is Howth Castle and Environs, as mentioned in Finnegan's Wake. It's just up to the right. And it's tricky on the left here, trying to run. The path goes in off the road a bit. I tried to stick to the side of the road, and if a cyclist was coming towards me, I jumped onto the path. And then I'm trying to run along here, and this is where it gets really tricky for both myself and Con. We decided to run it. This is early on Monday morning, and we decided to run it because at the weekend it'll be absolutely jammed. I mean, we bumper to bumper along here, but it's tricky. I found it very hard to get across this junction without vans, etc. The pedestrian crossings could cause Con a bit of an issue, as could traffic. But effectively, we're now probably 9.5 k in. That's Bishop's on the right, which we'll come to. That's where we're going to eat afterwards, and then we go on. But you can see the traffic is slowing down. So if Con was trying to get full speed in a bicycle here, he couldn't. Likewise, on the path, there's people with dogs and prams and all the usual stuff. So, you know, it might be a bit restrictive. And then we come up and we're going to finish straight ahead. There's a line that we're going to stop at where the van presumably will break at. We're going to stop at this line simply because the actual 10K is just around the corner, just where I'll stop the car and stop the video. But we stopped at that line just to make it easier. So that's one loop. So I made some panoramas, and this is, when you get to the top of the hill, this is looking back down towards Ireland's Eye. This is looking out across towards Dalkey and to the south as you come down by a gate along the lower slopes. Then again, stopping, looking, again, I didn't do this when I was actually running, I did this beforehand, looking out across open farmland. And then lastly, Sutton Strand, which is absolutely beautiful. I asked Con did he enjoy all the views, and he said all he saw was the tire of his bicycle. But anyway, that's what the views are if you have time to do. In terms of setting the challenge, I knew from the last challenge that Con cycled. We cycled an hour in the park, trying to do a calorie loss challenge, and I'll link it at the end. And it was Con did 23.8 kilometers per hour. So let's say call that 24. So if I was going to do one loop to his 2 loops, I'd have to go at 12 kilometers per hour to match him, half his speed. Now that would mean running 5-minute kilometers, or about 8 minutes and a couple of seconds per mile, and finishing in 50 minutes. And I didn't think I could do that because my watch, the course watch, said 52:27. Strava said 52:40, so they're both in close agreement. And this was, I mean, the course one was certainly being a race predictor over a flat, and I thought, yeah, I'm not going to gain on the down what I lose on the up. I ran it a couple of times in great perfect practice makes perfect, so I ran it a couple of times, and I did it in 5 minutes 30 going at just a regular pace. I thought I could get down to 5:15. I didn't think I'd get anywhere near 5. So my plan in order to win was that Colin would find it tough on the second. I thought the first way up the hill, he'd get up easy enough, but the second one might be tougher. I did 2 laps of it myself the previous weekend, again, to try and practice to see. And the second time up the hill was, well, it was a lot tougher than the first one. But I thought that might help. I thought also that the traffic, he might get stopped at the traffic lights a couple of times. And then I thought when we both came in through Howth, he'd have to slow down a bit. But I did think that he should easily win it, because on the downhill, I thought, even though I'd picked a route that would be twisty and gnarly and not the wide open flat straight zoomy stretches, I still thought I'd be cooked. I wouldn't have a hope unless I ran well. So the great thing was it was finely poised. I figured that all the way along into Howth, I'd be feeling under pressure of this man on his bicycle coming, and I couldn't look back. So yeah, I was feeling that I was the whatever the tortoise out to be caught by the rabbit, or whatever way it was. Anyway, I thought I'd be cooked by the time I got back into Howth. So the challenge was simple. I had to do 1 lap. Con had to do 2. Whoever crossed the finish line first bought the other fish and chips at Bishop's, the local famous fish and chip shop. So in terms of kit, well, I wore the Soar Running UTR top, mainly because it got a zip down the front, and if it was a warmish day, I think Con thought it was hot. I thought it was just warm. But I did unzip this all the way down. It's not a good look, but I did, and ran, and then I couldn't actually get it tied up. I was got too fiddly, tiny zip thing. So I just left it open the whole way. It was superb. I mean, it's designed for carrying a pack, but I wasn't carrying a pack. But it's very lightweight, and I love running in it. But that wasn't the main thing. And there's a link to all of this stuff in the description below. But the main one was the shoes. So I'd previously gone out in these ones just for fun to test them. And big stack height, lots of cushion. But nah, there was no way I was going to be running in these. I had considered, if it was going to be wet, I was going to run in these, the New Balance Fuel Cell Elite version 1. Or C Elite version 1. And I love these because there's a traction. They've got traction. I'm trying to save them for wet days because I can't find any other carbon plate shoe with as much traction. But in the end, I went for this, the Metaspeed, Asics Metaspeed Edge. And my plan with the Metaspeed Edge was, I also have the Sky, as you may know. I didn't want a high stack height because going down the hill, I was afraid of unbalancing. And I also, a couple of times in high stack height shoes, I snagged them on the ground a bit and when I tire or get it slightly wrong. So I wanted a low stack height. I love the Metaspeed Sky, but it has quite a tall stack, and the Edge is a lower stack shoe. And also the Edge is designed for people who are changing cadence. And I thought, well, it might work in terms of that I was going to be going up and down and the speeds would vary, but I thought it was the right shoe for me to try. Con, I imagined, was going to be festooned in some sort of lycra with all sorts of obscure European brands all over in the garish way that cyclists seem to love. But anyway, he turned out in quite a demure pair, but it didn't stop me having a pop at him, slagging him off for his lycra, even though it was, pots and kettles. But anyway, we'll have a look now and see what happened and see exactly who won. Okay, any last words before the off?
Mine's a bag of chips and cod pieces.
Probably need a cod piece in that yoke you're wearing. So the runner, me, accelerates faster. So at this stage, I'm a little bit ahead of him, but that's soon gone. As you can see from the GoPro on the front and the GoPro on the back, I'm toast. Very quickly out of the blocks, I'm done for. I'm thinking, why did I agree to do this? He's zooming off into the sunset, and I've got 10k of pain and then some humble pie to eat afterwards. So up he goes, round the bend, and past the Abbey Tavern out of sight. Now this is the last climb, and you can just see me appearing in the background. Somehow or other, I've managed to pick it up on the slopes. The slope has taken more out of the cyclist con than me, and I've somehow managed to catch up, sort of. I'm about 100 yards behind and wave bye-bye as he begins to accelerate and go down the hill. So we're now in Howth Village, and if you look to the left, you can see me, and he goes by, shouts in triumph, calls me a loser, crosses the line, and what exactly happened? Well, it's not exactly what it seems. So I ran a lot faster than I thought I was going to run, and I came in a bit ahead of Con. We'll do the denouement now in a minute. But once I got across the line, in fact, for about the last, I knew based on my time, I thought I had a pretty good shot at this. I thought I'll get across the line, then I'll double back, I'll hide behind a lamppost, I'll look down the line to see when he's coming, and then when he's near, I had to time it right, I'll run out, and then I'm an awful man. I thought, yeah, he'll shout by, he'll do all the cheering and all that, and then I'll take that old bubble and burst it. So that's what I did. So we'll have a quick review and see how it went. Right, so how'd you do?
Not bad. 55 minutes 24 seconds.
46 minutes 59 seconds and 46. At least it was close. It was genuinely close. I mean, I ran better than I thought I would.
Yeah.
And but it was close. It was a really good one. So we'll it's your turn to dream up another one.
Absolutely. Now, the first loop I did, I was checking my time in it, and I was at 26 minutes.
Yeah.
And I said, I have this, because I thought I would do the first loop in about 28 minutes. So I was ahead of myself in terms of where I thought I was, but I didn't go as fast on the descents as I thought I could have done because there was too many twists and too many bends.
Yeah.
Where if you had gone the
Oh
wider
yeah,
route,
you just, I'd have been blown out of the water. I mean, I did think when we came on the first lap, well, the first 20 seconds I thought I'm done for. I'm spending my time running around like a mug here. He's just going to breeze by me, and I thought that wasn't going to be a lot of fun. But then once I saw you on the hill, I thought I couldn't figure out how I'd managed to catch it because I didn't think it was that steep.
Yeah.
But anyway, once I saw you ahead, I thought I might have a shot at this, and then you just get a bit of momentum. So fish and chips.
fish and chips.
Except I don't eat.
You don't eat fish. Yeah, you're a weirdo like that.
I'm a weirdo.
In a country surrounded by water, he doesn't eat fish.
That's not the only weird thing. Right, on to the next challenge. So what happened? Well, I ran a lot faster than I thought I was going to run. When we headed off, I thought, ooh, I'm in trouble here, as he accelerated out hard. And then I didn't see him. I thought I might see him. I kept going around bends hoping I'd see him in the distance. And eventually I did, just on the last bend. And then I thought if it was another bit, I might have caught him, but then he's gone. He's accelerated off. Thought, right, okay. And then I was going a lot quicker than I thought I was going to go. I had thought 5:15 would be ideal. 5 was really fast, but I was going 4:45, that kind of pace, which was like well beyond what I thought I was capable of. And that's essentially why I beat Con. He made a few detours at one point in time, and we'd gone around in the car to check the route. He made a slight detour at some stage. I think his chain came off once, but ultimately they didn't really. It was I was just fortunate that I went out. Okay, it's bad planning on my part because I could have made it. I set the course, but if you win by that, that's not good course setting. But it was good running, which I put down to these Metaspeed edges. They were fantastic, light carbon fiber, great angle, just fantastic shoes for the day, and just ran well on the day. So we'll go for another challenge at another stage. We had a huge amount of time. We went to the Imbibing Emporium last night to relive, and yeah, it was fantastic. Enjoyed it immensely. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it entertaining. If you did, it'd be great if you hit the like button. There'll be lots of stuff in the descriptions below, and as always, I love all the comments and I'll happily answer any questions that come up. There'll be a big blue subscribe button there and some related videos there. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, just keep running along.